Come join us 1 p.m. here. We'll be burning Qurans, standing up against the Somali invasion of Minneapolis, the immediate deportation of Ilhan Omar, and the arrest of the scammer Tim Walz.
You just got a small taste of the shit show that ensued in Minneapolis after self-avowed Nazi influencer Jake Lang tried to hold an anti-immigrant pro-ICE rally at City Hall. I guess that he's one of the remaining Nazis who hasn't joined ICE yet. Nevertheless, he's been there on the streets consistently to show support for the modern-day Gestapo. The week before, him and his entourage showed up blasting Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice in order to show support to the ICE Gestapo. And as they played that song, they called for ICE to go door to door to hunt down immigrants everywhere. So he's been pretty visible at anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis the past couple of weeks to antagonize protesters specifically. And if you're not familiar with Jake Long, you probably know his buddy, because last week, or the week before that actually, he went viral after Renee Good was executed because he said the following.
And all you liberal commie motherfuckers, keep your hands to yourself or you're gonna get hurt today, alright? We executed one of you yesterday.
So to be clear, we're dealing with individuals who are explicitly in favor of violence, and it's not just that they want the ICE Gestapo to do violence on their behalf. They want to do violence themselves. But don't take it from me, let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Honestly, if I catch a Muslim that's coming at me and blow his head off outside my home and I get it on video, it'll be the most viral video of all time. Jake Lang blows the head off of a Muslim trying to jihad him. Watched it in slow motion 4K from a Ring doorbell. Pretty cool. So, you know, I mean, hey.
Don't threaten you with a good time.
Don't threaten me with a good time, yeah. If I get the opportunity to slay one of these disgusting animals that's trying to threaten me and my country and my family, don't threaten me with a good time, right? I mean,
yeah, so if it wasn't already obvious enough, this man is a Nazi. And if you think that that's too hyperbolic, here's a picture of him doing the Nazi salute. And no, he's not waving. He's not telling people that his heart goes out to them. He is literally Sieg Heiling. And if the photo isn't convincing you, well, then maybe the video will do the trick.
If you're whatever a Nazi isn't, then I'm a Nazi, bitch.
Shut the fuck.
So I just want to stress that this was a Nazi rally organized by violent Nazis who pose a direct threat to marginalized people in the community. And showing up to counter-protest open Nazism isn't just morally justified, I'd argue that it is a necessity. So that way other potentially dangerous Nazis get the message that they're also not welcome in the community. And I'm not overestimating the threat that this individual poses, because Jake was actually charged with assaulting an officer with a baseball bat, and he was one of the January 6th insurrectionists to receive clemency from President Neckpussy. So people in the community, they were right to be worried about the threat that he posed, and they took that threat seriously, rightfully so. And unfortunately for him, he found out the hard way that all of the support that he sees online for Nazism isn't actually reflective of reality, because real people still don't fuck with Nazis. Local ABC News affiliate KJCT reports only a small number of people showed up for Lang's demonstration, while hundreds of counter-protesters converged at the site, yelling over his attempts to speak and chasing the pro-ICE group away. They forced at least one person to take off a shirt that they deemed objectionable. Lang appeared to be injured as he left the scene, with bruises and scrapes on his head. In Minneapolis, snowballs and water balloons were also thrown before an armed police van and heavily equipped city police arrived. We're out here to show Nazis and ICE and DHS and MAGA you are not welcome in Minneapolis, protester Luke Remington said. Quote, "Stay out of our city, stay out of our state, go home." So suffice to say, I think that the message was received loud and clear. And it did look like he ended up getting stitches for a gash on the back of his head. And I don't know if that was because somebody hit him or because he fell. More on him falling later. But at the end of the day, I do think that his ego was probably injured the most. Because to say that counter-protesters merely chased him away, it doesn't paint a big enough picture of what actually happened. This man was completely and utterly humiliated and emasculated while he was being chased off by protesters. And I just have to show you the footage because just explaining what happened doesn't do it justice. Fucking brutal. So he showed up, puffing out his chest, talking tough, calling for violence against immigrants, only to be humbled in the most humiliating way imaginable for all of the world to see, mind you. Not just that crowd that was there, all of us online are now watching too. And before he was chased off, he tried to give a speech, but he barely got a word in edgewise because he was being heckled so loudly, nonstop, while people were throwing water at him. And if that wasn't bad enough already, a literal comedian showed up to make fun of him at the same time.
I'm with the incel, Nick, Jeremy Lang. What's your body count, man?
Jake Lang.
What's Jeremy, though? It's Jeremy. What's it like being a virgin? When was the last time you legally touched a vagina? Nick, Jake Lang has never legally touched a vagina.
Do not touch. Do not touch.
When was the last time you've legally touched a vagina, Jake?
Do not touch.
So Jake, I've been talking to ICE officers trying to explain where the clitoris is. God bless you. So do you need help finding the clitoris? Jake Lang, where's the clitoris? People want to know.
Yeah. Lucky for him, he doesn't need to know because he's never going to get that close to a woman in the first place, ever. Not that there's anything wrong with being a virgin. It's just important that we remind Nazis like him that he will be perpetually lonely for the rest of his life. And if he had any sense, he'd do the world a favor and kill himself. But the irony is that this white supremacist piece of shit might have actually gotten his ass beaten if it wasn't for minorities that he hates so much stepping in to save his ass. I say that because this black man intervened to get the crowd to back off and then escorted him to safety, at least the best that he could, seeing as how the force of gravity was also there counter-protesting as well. But once he was far enough away from the crowd, he then jumped into a random vehicle with two women and begged them to drive away. But unbeknownst to him, that car belonged to a woman of color and her trans friend who also happened to be an immigrant. And later on, when he got to the hospital, he was tended to by a black woman who happened to be wearing a hijab. Now, as a self-proclaimed Christian, LOL, you would think that he would interpret their kindness as some sort of a sign that God was maybe trying to teach him something. And he talks about that kerfuffle as if his life was genuinely in danger, and he even referred to it as a lynching, which is extremely fucking melodramatic. But if he really felt like his life was in danger, which is doubtful, but if he felt that way, you would think that he'd have a new perspective on life, seeing as how, by his own estimation, people of color literally saved his life. But that's not the case, because he was doubling down on the Nazi bullshit the very next day on Alex Jones's show, despite people of color intervening to help him.
We are under attack. Our way of life is being absolutely destroyed. We are being replaced in our homelands. And now if we go out and even mention our displeasure with our displacement, crowds of self-hating white people and illegal immigrants will attack you for being white or Christian. Let's talk about what was wrong with yesterday. Let's talk about the two main things that were wrong with yesterday. The Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Boogaloo Boys, the American Patriots watched a white Christian conservative get lynched, and nobody was there to stand up for me.
Well, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers are all in ICE now, and they're out terrorizing immigrants like you want them to, so they're a little bit preoccupied. But he's claiming nobody was there to stand up for him. I guess that the black man that was escorting him away was invisible. Maybe he didn't notice. I'm not really sure. But I mean, he intervened to help him, and then he says nobody helped me because he wanted a white man to help him, right? The black man who intervened on his behalf doesn't count because he doesn't see that man as an equal human being. In fact, when they found out that the trans woman who helped him was also an immigrant, take a guess what the right's reaction online was. They were calling for her to be deported as well, and she wasn't the hero of his story like she should have been. But just because Jake and his ilk are too stupid to learn from this experience doesn't mean that we should be equally dense. The lesson for the rest of us is that you're not going to cleanse their souls of hate by showing them kindness. No matter how hard you try, no matter how nice you are to them, even if you come to their defense, fascists will never ever view marginalized people as equal because they fundamentally don't view them as human beings. These people can't be reasoned with. Make of that what you will. And I do feel bad for the trans woman and her friend who's getting some criticism from fascists, as well as everybody else who's accusing them of collaborating with fascists, because that's not actually the case. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they didn't know who he was. But I want to share the video that they released because they clarified what happened, because they wanted to make it clear that they don't support ICE or what ICE is doing, and they don't support fascists. But here's what they say happened.
We see him run up to our car and he's like, can I please get in? Can I please get in? Like, they hurt me so bad, da 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 da. That's all the context we have. So in our heads, it's like, oh my God, like, was he just attacked by ICE? Like,
we
he
thought
was in the
ICE was
protest?
after him, so we're like, okay, whatever, like, hop in the freaking car real quick. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of people coming here and storming us and, like, beating up the car, ruining the car, pulling this dude out. Like, what is
like,
going on?
surrounding the car from every single angle. And yeah, we had no idea what we was getting ourselves into. It's just like, we saw an injured man, so like, obviously we're gonna help because we're not bad people. What? And I don't know him.
So we literally just go around the block, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you need to get out.
Yeah, we're still in
Like,
the same spot.
what is going on? Like, whose side are you on right now? Because, like, this is not okay. And I'm just getting super weird, bad vibe from this dude. And he's just like, oh, Trump something me. I gotta owe him back. And I'm just like,
yeah, he was
I
like,
don't care what
saved
Trump
me.
did for you. Like, ICE is fucking shit.
As
like,
fuck.
who are you? Like, who are you? And then I find out who he is. I'm like, I don't care if your Uber's here. You're not gonna wait in my fucking car. You need to get out right now.
As fuck.
Now, if the roles were reversed and Jake Lang saw two women who looked like them run up to his car and beg him for help, do you think that he would do the same for them? Of course not. If he saw a violent mob of white Klansmen cornering that black man and he recognized him as the man who helped him, do you think that he would return the favor? Do you think he would intervene on that man's behalf? No. The only way he would intervene is to join the white supremacist mob. See, because you can't defeat the threat of Nazism with a heart-to-heart or a hug. Everyone knows the only way to defeat Nazism is to vote, of course. That's a joke, obviously. You know, it'd probably take too long for me to explain how to denazify the country, so I'm just going to go ahead and beam some additional, very nuanced thoughts into your brain about some other ways to address the Nazi threat that we're currently facing. But on a serious note, I do find it encouraging that another Nazi rally turned into a complete fucking shit show yet again. I mean, with everything going on in the country, I'm sure he felt like it was probably safe to come out of the closet, but that's not ever going to be the case, most likely. At least, I don't think that's going to be the case, because even other Nazis have enough brain cells to recognize that you can't really do that. Hence why almost all of them have probably already joined ICE, because they understand that if they really want to LARP as Third Reich brown shirts, it's easier to live out that fantasy under the veil of the state's legitimacy and with the protection of state power. Regardless, if Nazis do want to fuck around and find out, I'm going to get some popcorn and watch.
Alpha male, not a beta male.